This is the Pro Football Report presented by BCWSA, a weekly recap of your Eagles and news around the NFL. Broadcasting live from Chickies and Pete's. Tonight's show is brought to you by Rob's Automotive and Collision, BCWSA, Chickies and Pete's, Allstate Fairless Hills Tom LaCroix, and Penworth Financial Services, Penn Community Bank, Capital Grill, Ventresca's LTD, Independence Blue Cross, and SEPTA. We now go live to Chickies and Pete's for the Pro Football Report, presented by BCWSA. Now, here are your hosts, Eagles insider Dave Spadaro and voice of the Philadelphia Eagles, Merrill Reese.
Thank you very much, and good evening, everyone. We are here at Chickies and Pete's in Drexel Hill, and David, we are talking about the NFC East champion Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, it's great. What an amazing season it's been, Merrill. You know, you get in the course of the season, and you get very caught up in how it's week to week, and you kind of don't step back and just appreciate what an amazing season it has been. 10 wins in a row, 11 in the last 12 weeks, a running back who gained 2,000 yards, a defense that is ranked number one in the NFL, big plays every week. I mean, we've been involved in a lot of great seasons, Merrill, and honestly, the way that this year has unfolded, I think has been one of the very most satisfying and one of the very best.
Remarkable.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely remarkable. This team has been terrific. How about a coach who now has the highest winning percentage in the NFL?
It's Nick Sirianni, who gets so much heat for a lot of things, has a way of bringing this team around and getting them up for every game.
He does.
And the way that this team believes in each other and works for each other, and the way they play for him and the way they play for each other. Merrill, I think what lost in this whole thing is the Eagles did it yesterday to the Dallas Cowboys, who we all hate, and they did it in such convincing fashion with Kenny Pickett and Tanner McKee at the quarterback position. You don't see second and third string quarterbacks going out and putting up those kind of numbers.
Well, you know, I wondered about that. I was pretty skeptical because early in the game I said to say that the offense is lackluster would be a very kind way of putting it.
I thought the defense was too.
They did nothing.
Yeah.
And the defense, I was about to say, I did say that the defense looks like it's taking over from where they left off in Washington. And Mike Quick said to me, you know, you just said what I'm thinking. I mean, they couldn't stop them. They marched downfield. They got one big play, and that was the pick six by Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. And then, boom, somebody hit the switch, and it was off to the races.
I actually thought, Merrill, that the defense looked tired yesterday. And that's why, look, we'll talk about it later, but how will Nick Sirianni approach this week's game against the New York Giants? But I thought the Eagles have played 12 straight weeks, and they came out, and the defense could not stop the Dallas Cowboys. And I thought to myself, boy, these Cowboys are a lot different team than they were back in November 10th in AT&T Stadium. And then the Eagles, look, offensively, the Grant Calcaterra catch, 3rd and 8, Kenny Pickett rolls to his right, throws down the field for Grant Calcaterra. He reaches up with his left hand, brings it in. That ignited everything, and the Eagles just dominated from there. Merrill, this is a very complete football team. Do you ever look at the Eagles and try to compare one season to another? And if you do,
sure.
How do you feel about this team versus 2022, versus 2017, even versus 2004, if we can look back that far?
I would say this team is better.
Why?
I would say this team is more complete. That's what I think. Number one, this is the best offensive line they've ever had. This is a great, I say ever because, you know, I hate to sound like Mr. Yesteryear, but Dick Vermeil had a great offensive line in 1980 when they went with Guy Morris, Woody Peoples, Petey Payroll, Jerry Sizemore, and Stan Walters. Now, that was a great offensive line for that day. But now let's go to modern history. Let's say in the last 20 years.
Okay.
In the last 20 years, you can't beat this offensive line. This offensive line even adding Mekhi Becton to this line.
And allowing, look, a future Pro Football Hall of Famer retired, and the Eagles have not skipped a beat with Cam Jurgens replacing Jason Kelsey at the center position.
Well, Nick was asked that today in his press briefing, and somebody said, how's Cam Jurgens doing replacing a legend? And Nick said, well, it's never easy to replace a legend, but I'll tell you this. He said, we wouldn't be 13-3 if he weren't playing well.
Yeah, and look, the quarterback position, Merrill, very comparable. Jalen has played outstanding football this season. You know, you could kind of go, hey, at the tight end position, probably better in the past because Dallas Goedert's been hurt so much this season.
Yeah.
So I would certainly put Zach Ertz from 2017 in front of Dallas Goedert. Wide receivers, clearly, the Eagles have never had a better combination than A.J. Brown.
Never.
And
Never.
Devontae Smith. Yeah, not really even close. I mean, Deshaun Jackson, Jeremy Maclin had their moments. They were good. Mike Quick, of course, and Harold were at different periods in their career.
Right.
Harold was at the end. Mike was just at the beginning. But these two are game breakers. I feel like the running back, Saquon, Merrill, right? The best you've ever seen in a 1 year sample.
Well, yes. He is this year is the best running back year they've ever had. Now, we don't want to go back to Steve Van Buren, but that was prehistoric days. But if we say my best running backs since I've been calling the games were in order Wilbur Montgomery, Brian Westbrook, and Shady McCoy. And I would have to say that Saquon Barkley is playing at even a higher level.
I would. When you think about the great running, Ricky Waters in his 3 years with the Eagles,
he was good.
Was very, very good.
But he was not. He was a me first guy.
For sure.
He was not a great teammate.
For sure. That's part of the equation with Saquon. He is a team first guy.
Yeah.
And as spectacular as he's been all year, what he did yesterday and the way the Eagles wore down the Dallas Cowboys, and then you just see Saquon. The gains are bigger, the runs are longer, the holes are a little bit wider. And he just wears you down. And as spectacular as he's been this year with the plus 50-yard runs, I'm as impressed with the way he's run between the tackles, the way he's created space with his feet. Some of the runs he made late in that game yesterday on the way to 2,000 were remarkable runs, creating with his feet, the vision that he has, his elusiveness, the power that he runs with. He's the best one-year running back I've ever seen for sure since the mid-1980s. And there have been a lot of great ones.
Yeah, he looks so spry and looks so effortless, but he has to, at this point of the season, after 16 games, he's got to hurt.
Yeah.
He's got to have a lot of bruises and bangs and strains and sprains, but he's still out there. He's one guy, Dave, and I know there are a lot of fans out there who would love to see him go for the Dickerson record. I wouldn't. I think he needs 2 weeks off.
Look, I agree with you. I actually thought early in the game he kept slipping. And I'm thinking, why is he there's no moisture on the field. The rain, the field was covered with a tarp. The field was good. The grass was in great shape. No problems. And I'm thinking, is he just tired? Are we seeing a running back who needs a break? And I 100% agree with you. The goal was 2,000. And eventually, and maybe as early as, I don't know, next year, the league will go to 18 games,
yep.
And this record will be broken.
Yes.
The magic number was 2,000. Saquon got to 2,000.
Yeah.
No reason for the Eagles to jeopardize the playoffs, especially when you think about what happened last year playing in that game against the Giants, and A.J. Brown got hurt, and the Eagles went into the playoff game against Tampa Bay, and they could not manufacture any offense at all. This team needs a rest. I believe, just my thoughts, that Nick will rest his starters and that the Eagles will use next week as their quote-unquote bye week.
I mean, it's obviously good talk show host stuff. Are the Eagles, should they play and go for the record? I have no doubt at all about this because back in the winter, when this team recovered from the terrible ending to last season, they went out, Howie Roseman, they hired some new coordinators, excellent coordinators. They beefed up. They went after free agents. They prepared for the draft. We can say now they had an outstanding draft with the first and second rounders as regular star players. I mean, they had an outstanding draft, but all of this was predicated on one thing, winning a Super Bowl. what will allow this team to go to and win a Super Bowl. And now you've reached the stage where they will enter the playoffs as one of the Super Bowl favorites. One of the favorites. Why take a chance? You put Saquon out, you have to put out the offensive line.
Yeah.
You have to put out A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith to take pressure off of the running game. You lose one of those guys, and everything changes.
I agree with you 100%, Merrill. I think that is the smart way to approach it. I think that's honestly how Saquon feels deep down inside. You know, there's going to be offensive linemen that will say, yeah, I would love to play and lobby Nick Sirianni, but you don't think Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson and Cam Jurgens and Mekhi Becton and Landon Dickerson would love to have a week off from practice and from the game? It would make a world of difference for this football team.
Absolutely.
And look, the Green Bay Packers, I imagine, and the Washington Commanders are going to do the same thing this weekend. So
sure,
you want to be fresh going into the playoffs, which will not be easy. The NFC is a very tricky road. There's a lot of great teams, and I think it's going to be an outstanding postseason in the NFC.
Who would you rather see the Eagles face, Washington or Green Bay?
You know, prior to yesterday, I would have said Washington, and I don't think I think the Eagles would love to see Washington. But I have watched Green Bay play big games, and they don't play well in big games. There's something about Jordan Love that I expected him to take that next step this year, and I just haven't seen it from him. Now, I know last night Christian Watson, their star wide receiver, didn't play, and that holds them back. But there's something about Love that I feel like you get him here in Philadelphia, that their defense can't stop the Eagles' run game. I feel like that would be a better matchup for the Philadelphia Eagles, even though I do subscribe to the theory that when you beat a team in the regular season, it's difficult to then beat them in the playoffs.
Well, I watched them last night. I watched Washington-Atlanta, which was a really good game. Washington is a tough out. Jaden Daniels does a tremendous job. He's extremely dangerous, and I think Washington would be a tougher game than Green Bay.
So you're saying Green Bay then?
No.
We would rather see Green Bay.
Green Bay would be the easier team for them, but I don't think it matters.
Yeah,
because they're going to have to beat good teams to get to the Super Bowl, so why not start? Doesn't matter. They're both good. They are both capable of winning on a given day, but I think going in, the Eagles are better than both of them.
I think when the Eagles play their best game, they're better than anybody. There's no team out there that can match up with what the Eagles do offensively. They've got the best defense in the NFL, and I think this team is ready to go in the playoffs. But first, we've got to play the New York Giants here on Sunday and see what happens there.
Well, our special guest is here tonight. You will meet him in a moment when we return with more of the BCWSA Pro Football Report.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's with a holiday reminder about the gift that always fits and always gets returned. Our Chicky and Pete's gift cards. Buy online and we'll ship them right to your home or office. Need them right now? Go to chickyandpete's.com and we'll send them right to your email. Or you can always come see us at all locations and pick up your gift cards. It's the gift that always fits, yet always gets returned. Chicky and Pete's gift cards. Happy holidays from Chickies and Pete's.
At Penn Community Bank, we're in the business of building thriving communities. That means breaking down the barriers to home ownership, supporting fair, affordable access to housing from Philadelphia to the Lehigh Valley, like our Home Opportunity Mortgage that empowers eligible borrowers with no minimum credit score, no down payment, access to grant programs, and so much more. Visit PennCommunityBank.com/home for more details. Penn Community Bank. Here we grow. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Account and feature terms, restrictions, and conditions apply.
Your day-to-day life is hectic between having to pick up the kids, make dinner, the countless other tasks that you got to get done. Rob's Automotive and Collision is there to make your life a whole lot easier. Make sure you take advantage of their spacious waiting rooms, the large flat-screen TVs, complimentary coffee and muffins, and free Wi-Fi. So even when you do have to stop, Rob's is there to make you feel right at home. Give Rob's a call today at 215-826-9200 for any of your auto repair needs.
Hi, this is Merrill Reese, and I'm here to announce that the garage is always open. I'm talking about garage beer. Light beer, like it used to be. How refreshing. I believe my good friend Jason Kelsey even described garage beer as beer-flavored beer. There's a guy who knows beer. Find yours at drinkgaragebeer.com. Remember, the garage is always open.
A flawless occasion begins at the Capitol Grill. From the moment you step into the Capitol Grill, located in the heart of Center City, the experience is one of comfortable elegance. Whether you're looking to host a private affair, a perfect lunch stop, or dinner destination, start your occasion at the Capitol Grill today. Visit thecapitolgrill.com or call 215-545-9588. That's 215-545-9588 for the Capitol Grill, Center City.
Ventresca Limited, the Delaware Valley men's store, is located in historic Doylestown. For casual clothing in denim to business suits and tuxedos, Ventresca Limited has a large selection you have to see to believe. The experienced and knowledgeable sales staff can show you the many brand labels that have made Ventresca Limited in Doylestown a must for men concerned about their image. Select from Canali, Brax Jeans, Hickey Freeman, Johnson Murphy Footwear, and much more. Custom alterations are free. Visit Ventresca Limited on the web at ventresca.com. Planning to go to the game? Give LimoToday.com a call. You'll get to the game and back safely and in style. Why worry about the traffic and parking when you can relax and let LimoToday.com do the driving for you and your friends? And if you book a 5-hour trip with LimoToday.com, you'll get the 6-hour free. From sedans to minibuses to vans and stretch limos, let LimoToday.com get you to the game. Give them a call at 1-866-LIMO-TODAY. That's 1-866-LIMO-TODAY.
BCWSA customers, former Phillies pitcher Tommy Green here. I played on the 1993 National League champs, so I know a thing or two about what it's like playing on a winning team. BCWSA has all the ingredients. They make it easy for their customers to get automatic updates by text, email, or phone anytime there is a disruption in your service area. You can even customize your alerts by going to bcwsa.net. That's bcwsa.net. BCWSA, your partner for a safer environment. BCWSA, proven.
When an Eagles player gets hurt, the team takes care of him. When you get hurt, the attorneys at Begley, Carlin, and Mandio will take care of you. They understand that a severe accident can be a life-altering event. You need a reliable teammate to fight for you. The attorneys at Begley, Carlin, and Mandio will get you great results. And if there's no recovery, there's no fee. Contact them today at 215-750-0110 for a free consultation. 215-750-0110 for a reliable ally that's on your side.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for the Pro Football Report presented by BCWSA. Once again, here are your hosts, Eagles insider Dave Spadaro and voice of the Philadelphia Eagles, Merrill Reese.
Thank you very much, and here we are again at Chickies and Pete's in Drexel Hill. Welcome back, and we have a very, very special guest with us. He wears number 36. He is an outstanding defensive player. How about a nice welcome for Tristin McCollum? Tristin, thank you so much for coming out. A lot of folks here excited about meeting you tonight. You seem to be enjoying this season, and why not? You're 13-3.
Man, there's so much to enjoy, and you know, it's a crazy experience. You know, just this season alone, you know, we've done some incredible things, and you know, the future is bright. You know, we're ready to keep it going.
Did you feel from the very beginning that you had joined a special team?
Oh yeah, for sure. Just in the locker room, just looking around and seeing all the superstars that we do have, and you know, just the team camaraderie from how we bounced back from, you know, the previous season. It's been amazing. You know, you had you know, everything in front of us, and just to see, you know, the way everyone was carrying themselves in the off season, you know, it was only inevitable.
You know, you have a unique distinction. You, of course, have a twin brother, an identical twin brother, who is also playing in the NFL, and Sidney Brown has an identical twin brother, although they don't look alike anymore, of how they wear their hair and everything else, but they are identical. Sidney Brown and his brother, who is playing with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Chase
Brown.
And Zion's playing with the Buccaneers, right? Merrill, have you done the research? Is this the only team in the history of the NFL with two identical brothers?
I don't know that, but I would say yes.
Okay.
I would say yes. There may be some with twins, but not identical twins.
Okay.
And that, too, not two pairs of twins
I've
on the
never
same
heard.
roster.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. What were you guys like growing up? Were you very competitive with each other?
Very competitive, very close. It's like growing up with your best friend, ever since you step foot in the world. So it's been an incredible ride, and just to see him and doing his thing in Tampa, it's amazing.
Tristin, tell us about the journey. We know that you committed to Utah, wanted to play at Sam Houston State, which is not exactly a football factory, although you did win a national championship there. Why that decision, and kind of when did you think that being in the NFL was a possibility?
We always knew it was a possibility, starting off in high school. We had a lot of our coaches saying that me and my brother had a lot of potential that we could grow into. And, we never really started truly believing it until probably later in college. It was always a dream of ours, but we never really fully tapped into it until we started to, take a look back at all the things that we have done and saw that, there was a lot that we had gotten done and a lot that was still ahead of us. We were very smart, athletic dudes. So we decided probably after our junior year of college to really, really take a deep dive into it, really go all in. And,
What does that mean?
just be completely all in with film study, with learning the game, learning the history of the game. We were both individuals that actually wanted to be general practitioners growing up.
Did you really?
Yeah. And, we never really decided to take football, fully until we decided that was actually like a true passion of ours, and it was something that was attainable. And
What brought that passion out?
I could say a lot of things. Our mom, she always, harped on us following our dreams and just believing in ourselves. And our dad, he did play in the NBA for a while.
Yep.
And
Wow.
so he always pushed us hard, too, to do something. So we kind of had a feeling that we would be doing something athletically, and, time just told.
What were your other sports?
Track and field. We never really got into the basketball thing, which our dad was kind of, up and
Yeah.
down about. But
Having a dad in the NBA, you had to have a hoop at home.
oh yeah, for sure. We always worked on the shot a little bit.
I think Dad was happy about it. He never got taken down by the Suns. I mean, he will always know that he can take both of you guys in basketball.
Oh yeah, not anymore though. We on him now.
I will bet in high school you also played offense.
Oh yeah, we did play. We both played receiver.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and that was a good experience too because it made us better defensive backs. Because
Sure.
in the off season, we could always go against each other. So it's always a good to have
I
that
think,
kind
I
of
think it's
training
always
together.
interesting. Like, people have to understand, how good anybody who ever has stepped on a practice field, a training camp field, right, in the NFL, that to get to that point, you were always the best player on the field. Were you? I mean, you guys were in Texas, right? So, like, really heavy competition. But were you guys always the best players on the field?
I would say humbly, yeah. Looking back at our high school team, we didn't really have the best team. We were actually, the biggest on the team, like even bigger than the offense and defensive line, which was kind of, awkward. But, me and my brother, we worked in a tandem, and we kind of like complemented each other very, very well. And so always having him, everywhere we went, it was like.
See, there used to be an old cliche. You'd see a defensive back go up and knock the ball away and not come down with it. And people used to say, really, defensive backs for wide receivers who can't catch.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the case with you.
Man, should have had a couple of them this season.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. That's right. They were right there. You had your chances, yeah.
You like to say that the defensive back isn't always expecting the ball, but the ball hogs do. CD, if he was sitting here, he'd be telling you something completely
But
different.
you know what's amazing? As wonderful a year as Quinyon Mitchell, the number one draft choice, has had, he is still looking for his first pick.
Yeah, he is, man. He's chasing it. I thought he was going to get it last Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yesterday he had the chance on CD's second one.
Mm-hmm.
He was right there. But I guess the message is, if you're in any sort of proximity to C.J. Gardner-Johnson and the ball is in the air, he's going to be the one to
his
go get
ball.
it. So how do you feel about – so when you've had a couple, I think Baltimore was one. Was that one, right?
yeah.
Was Pittsburgh one also?
It was
There was
Carolina.
one. Carolina.
So you have two.
Yeah, he's had
Or
two
had
nears.
opportunities, yeah.
2 years.
When they didn't happen, Tristin, are you just like, well, how do you react?
In the moment, it's just next play. You're always looking to just get to the next play and not really think about it in the past. But when you get to the sideline or after the game and you got a bunch of guys, coming at you, man, butterfingers, man, bricks for hands, that's when it starts to hit you like, dang, like, really could have had that.
Do you have to do the automatic push-ups?
You got to do the automatic push-ups. Whether it's there, if you don't, then the guys, right when you get in the locker room, they're going to make you get down.
You know what an amazing thing is about this team? When this team lost Tampa Bay, they were 2-2, and they had come off a bad beating against Tampa Bay. I think the final was 33-16, and people were wondering, where is this team going? And suddenly, they came back from the bye and they won 10 straight games. But here's the biggest difference. At that point, you guys were -7 in turnover differential. You had given up the ball 7 times more than you had taken away. -7. That's bad. At this point, you are now +10. So that means from that game alone, you've been +17.
Yeah, big turnaround, and sometimes defenses and just teams in general need, a kind of setback, a kind of, loss, a kind of lesson, something to really start that fire going. And, one thing I have learned from this season is this team responds really, really well to adversity. It just makes us stronger as a team, and, we're just hungry to get out the next week and just prove it to ourselves, prove it to everybody that, we are who we think we are.
Getting back to your story, your journey, you come out of Sam Houston State. Did you expect to get drafted?
I did not. It was a lot of, up and down things throughout my college career. I knew that my brother had a very, very good shot because he had went crazy at the combine. He put down some great numbers, and, I knew I was going to get my opportunity. That's something I did know.
And what is the mindset then? Did you have an opportunity to sign with a bunch of different teams? You went with Houston originally. Why Houston, and what was that process like?
Houston, it was close proximity to home, so, that was definitely a plus. And just kind of, the coaches, I went there to work out in the pre-draft process, and I like the coaches, I like the environment, so, I went with what was comfortable.
I'm sorry, Dave, go ahead.
Was Dino what's his last name, Vasily? Was he the defensive back?
Yeah, he was the corner coach.
By the way, he's like this is where he's from. He's like a superstar from this neighborhood.
Yeah, plenty of people tell me,
Yeah, he was a coach with us when we won the Super Bowl in 2017. And I knew that he was down there when David Culley was down there. I didn't know he stayed with D'Amico, so that's cool. Great guy.
Yeah, no, he's great. He's hilarious, too.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, Tristin McCollum, you went to Sam Houston State. Now, both Dave and I are Temple University graduates, and their coach is your coach, Casey Keeler.
Oh, yeah.
How did you like playing for Casey?
Man, Casey, he's a great coach. I always thought that he was, just a great people coach. He knew how to get a team fired up. He knew how to rally a team together. He knew how to recruit a lot of good people. And, that was kind of his philosophy. He wasn't always the go and get best talent. He was the go and get the best human being. And, we have the coaching staff to turn those into great players. And, that philosophy worked for us. We won a national championship in 2020. And so it was a great ride, great experience.
Well, he won a national championship also with a quarterback by the name of Joe Flacco at the University of Delaware. Now, I think his challenge of recruiting, Dave, at Temple is really going to be put to the test.
I mean, I love the Temple Owls, but I just don't know if that football program will ever get back to the heights that it had with Matt Rule. And I think the NIL has changed it. I just think it's a really difficult neighborhood to recruit to. A lot of instability in the program, and I wish him the best of luck. It would be great, but I have my doubts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big turnaround if he does.
Have you talked to him since he came back?
I have talked to him. He wants me to come to the university. I'm going to pull up one of these days.
Nice.
Got to.
Yeah, you got to give him your story is an amazing story. I mean, the NFL is certainly headlined by the superstars, but the majority of the players come up the long way. They take every step up the ladder. How has that been? So you're in Houston for a year, you get released. What are you thinking at this point? You're a young guy. Did you expect to get another shot right away?
Yeah, I knew I was going to sign with the practice squad and really just, learn the ropes, learn, how to navigate my way through the National Football League and really just trying to get better. And that's what I spent that entire year doing, sitting back, watching, veteran guys do it and trying to learn my routine, and just sticking to my role and just trying to get better every single day. Because I knew the opportunity was going to come in the future, and I knew I had to just be ready for it.
You've made the most of it this year. You've played really well when you've been out there. What has been the difference for you, and how important has it been that, we talked before you came on, the Eagles, last season didn't end the way they wanted, change around the coaching staff, and really upgraded not only the coordinators but the position coaches. And how important has that been to your development, having a really good set of coaches around you?
It's been huge. Coaches are a very big deal. They've seen a lot of football and seen a lot of players. They know how to communicate very, very effectively. And the ones that we have, I can only say good things about them. They communicate very well. They relate to the players very well. And, they make you kind of, want to play for them. So it's been an amazing experience, and just learning from them it's been a blessing, really.
Which of the veterans has been a mentor to you, Tristin McCollum?
CJ has been a big help. Slay, of course, he brings everybody under his wing. But I would say CD has been huge.
Yeah.
Merrill, let's take a little break here. I want to talk a little bit about that and the position of safety and all of the challenges that come with it. It is one of the changing positions in the NFL, kind of instigated by one of our favorites, Merrill, the great Brian Dawkins, and how you play the game.
Oh, absolutely. All right, we'll be back with Tristin McCollum right after this.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's. Join us for a casual, stress-free New Year's Eve. Early or late, you decide. Celebrate with football, food, and fun. Enjoy buy one, get one mouth-watering snow crabs from open to close. Happy hour starts at 4 with $3 domestics, $5 Tito's, $6 seltzers, plus half-price wings, pizza, and shrimp. Then late-night happy hour with $5 champagne toasts. Casual, stress-free, and easy. Chickies and Pete's for New Year's Eve.
Hi, this is Merrill Reese, and I'm here to announce that the garage is always open. I'm talking about garage beer. Light beer, like it used to be. How refreshing. I believe my good friend Jason Kelsey even described garage beer as beer-flavored beer. There's a guy who knows beer. Find yours at drinkgaragebeer.com. Remember, the garage is always open.
A flawless occasion begins at the Capitol Grill. From the moment you step into the Capitol Grill, located in the heart of Center City, the experience is one of comfortable elegance. Whether you're looking to host a private affair, a perfect lunch stop, or dinner destination, start your occasion at the Capitol Grill today. Visit thecapitolgrill.com or call 215-545-9588. That's 215-545-9588 for the Capitol Grill, Center City.
Ventresca Limited, the Delaware Valley men's store, is located in historic Doylestown. For casual clothing in denim to business suits and tuxedos, Ventresca Limited has a large selection you have to see to believe. The experienced and knowledgeable sales staff can show you the many brand labels that have made Ventresca Limited in Doylestown a must for men concerned about their image. Select from Canali, Brax Jeans, Hickey Freeman, Johnson Murphy Footwear, and much more. Custom alterations are free. Visit Ventresca Limited on the web at ventresca.com. Planning to go to the game? Give LimoToday.com a call. You'll get to the game and back safely and in style. Why worry about the traffic and parking when you can relax and let LimoToday.com do the driving for you and your friends? And if you book a 5-hour trip with LimoToday.com, you'll get the 6-hour free. From sedans to minibuses to vans and stretch limos, let LimoToday.com get you to the game. Give them a call at 1-866-LIMO-TODAY. That's 1-866-LIMO-TODAY.
This is Tommy Green from the 1993 National League champion Phillies. And here's the pitch. BCWSA water and sewer customers, you have a new and improved option to pay your bill that's convenient, reliable, and secure. Powered by Invoice Cloud, you can pay your bill 24/7 online, pay by text or phone, or sign up for AutoPay to avoid fees for late or missed payments. Visit bcwsa.net to sign up or for more info. That's bcwsa.net. BCWSA, proven.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for the Pro Football Report presented by BCWSA. Once again, here are your hosts, Eagles insider Dave Spadaro and voice of the Philadelphia Eagles, Merrill Reese.
And back we are here at Chickies and Pete's in Drexel Hill. Merrill Reese, Dave Spadaro, and Eagles safety Tristin McCollum. Great to have you with us tonight. And Dave, this has been an amazing season. And you brought up a name when we talk about safeties, and I would bet it's a name that you are well aware of, Brian Dawkins.
Yeah, so what do you know about Brian? I mean, you're a little bit young to remember Brian Dawkins in his playing days. I mean, prior to Doc and Ed Reed and those guys, it was, safeties were in the box, they were run stoppers. Then all of a sudden it became,
they were killers.
They were physical, incredible. Now you're really cornerback, linebackers, everything all combined. What are the challenges of the position?
Being a safety is all about being, a Swiss Army knife. You're very, very, have very, very multiple jobs. I would say, you get in the box, like you said, run stop. You're, outside dropping in coverage. You're coming down and playing man coverage against, tight ends, slot receivers. So you kind of got to be a jack of all trades, if you will.
Is the challenge more physical or more mental, do you think, knowing you've got to it's nickel linebacker? I mean, there's so many things you have to know where everybody else is. Is it more physical or mental, do you think, to be a great safety?
I would say mental. You have a lot of jobs, and one of the big parts of your job is communication. It's getting the entire back end on the same page, the entire defense on the same page, and so if you can handle it mentally, then you can let your physical attributes just go out and shine.
Well, you were thrust into the game unexpectedly in Washington when C.J. Gardner-Johnson departed, but that had to be tough. All of a sudden you're cold, and all of a sudden you're out there with the starting unit.
Yeah, no. It's always, a very big surprise. That's why you always have to just stay ready and stay mentally prepared. You don't always get, the reps in practice. So you just got to watch the vet guys and just stay locked in throughout the week so you're ready for any opportunity.
I just watched, of course, I've seen him so many times, but last night again, I watched Jaden Daniels, and he's pretty amazing, and he's got to be a defensive back's nightmare.
No, yeah, having a guy like that can sit in the pocket and throw just about any throw you want him to you ask him to throw, and also be able to run the ball the way that he does. It's very incredible. His scrambling ability is insane.
Yeah, that to me, that was the biggest thing last night. Not his throwing, although he throws well, but it was his ability to make Atlanta miss.
I agree.
mean, I never saw so many missed tackles in my life, and it's not so much that they weren't fundamentally sound. It's just now you see him, now you don't.
Yeah, his ability, he's going to do great things in this league, and we got to see him twice every single year from this point. So.
Maybe 3 times.
Hey, did you think, Tristin, that this defense had this kind of upside? I mean, this defense has been great. We talked about it. It's the number 1 defense in the NFL. And did you think it could be this good potentially? And B, why do you think it's gotten to this level?
I did think that it could get to this level just because of Vic. Vic Fangio, much respect to him. He's one of the best in the business, in my opinion. And the way that he can get this entire defense on the same page, that was the turning point. After Tampa Bay, we didn't play our best football defensively. And ever since that week, he's told us to just focus on your box, checking your box. It's not 11 guys moving separately. It's just 11 guys moving as one unit as long as everyone's doing their job. And that's made all the difference.
And what's interesting is that in Miami, he was labeled, after he left, as a guy who could not relate to young players. Have you found that to be the case?
I think, no, I have not. I find the opposite. He's an old school dude. So, I guess a lot of younger players may not relate to him as much. But, man, the way that he's related to our defense it's been, night and day.
There's an old cliche that coaches use when they talk about a game, and they say it's a coach's job to – Andy Reid always used to say that if they lost. He said, it's my fault because I have to do a better job of putting players in position to make plays. And I think that's Vic Fangio does so well.
No, he does it exceptionally well. He puts – players in position to make plays, calling shots for certain players at certain points in the game, and the way he can see the game from the box, he always gets us in great calls, situationally sound. It's been, like I said, night and day,
And what's weird about yesterday, Dallas gets the ball, they go right down the field, CD makes the great play, then Dallas gets the ball back, they go right down the field again, and you're kind of thinking, what is going on with this defense? So when that stuff happens, what are you thinking? What happens on the sidelines? How does it all come together?
It's kind of just, keep doing the little things. Especially early on in every football game, both sides are kind of getting the rhythm and the flow of the game. So when offense is starting out hot, it's just the defense needing to, settle down, settle into the flow of the game, and just keep on pressing on the gas because we trust Vic, and he's going to get us in the perfect calls for the perfect situations. And sometimes the first 15, you just got to kind of settle down and get into the flow of things.
Merrill, it's time now, and Tristin, it's time now for this week's injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Begley, Carlin, and Mandio. Contact them today for a free consultation at 215-806-3689. That's 215-806-3689. Merrill, we're still monitoring the concussions that kept both Jalen Hurts and Will Shipley out of the game on Sunday. No update from head coach Nick Sirianni in his press conference today. And then moving forward, Kenny Pickett with the broken ribs.
Are they broken indeed?
Well, Darius Slay said it after the game that they were broken. Nick was asked about it today and he kind of said, yeah, but didn't want to say confirm. But you could he just kept saying he's got a lot of pain. If that's the case, kudos to Kenny Pickett for playing with broken ribs.
Well, he's tough.
Yeah, and I don't care how much padding you have on, just breathing is really difficult with broken ribs. So regardless, you're kind of looking ahead. Kenny Pickett likely not to play this week regardless, but you want him to be available for the playoffs. You want Jalen, of course, and all of the players to be available. I think otherwise the Eagles came out of yesterday's game pretty healthy.
But there's one other guy you didn't mention. And if I'm not incorrect, I believe that yesterday marked the fourth game that Dallas Goedert missed.
Yes.
So he is now eligible to come back, and I think it's a big factor.
Yeah, his practice window will open this week. I'm sure the Eagles will get him out on the practice field. Will he play on Sunday? That remains to be seen. But
any of them play on Sunday.
Yeah, we don't know that, and we'll ask Tristin about that and the uncertainty and the potential opportunity that he has. But with Goddard, you just want to get him back on the practice field, get him back in the flow, and have him ready to go for the playoffs. We don't know Sunday what the Eagles will do, Tristin. You don't know what the Eagles will do on Sunday, but there's a possibility that you're going to be starting and you're going to be playing the entire game. And if that, do you feel like that's a huge opportunity, which obviously it is?
We don't know anything. But if we had to guess, we would think you're starting at safety this Sunday. That's from us. We have no vote, but that's the way we see it.
No, yeah. They haven't told us anything yet,
No,
but
of course
all kind of roads point to that being true. So, we'll be ready for the opportunity. It'll be a great to get out there and really play a full game on defense. So we'll see.
And every time you play, that's a chance to put good tape out there for the entire league to see. These games, every single time you play, it is a huge moment, isn't it?
Well, 100%. It's a big opportunity anytime you get, that chance to get out there on the field and play some defensive snaps. It's a big learning experience and, just an experience to get out there and just show what you could do.
We talk about C.J. Gardner-Johnson. He's a great player. But the other guy who's also pretty much a ball hawk with 4 interceptions is Reed Blankenship.
Oh, yeah. He's a dog, too. They complement each other so well. Reed, he's such a smart football player. He's always in perfect position, to make those plays. And, he's a for sure tackler, for sure hands. He's going to do great things.
How much of that is knowledge and study, and how much of that is just pure instinct, the ability to just sense where the ball's going and become a ball hawk?
Every player is different, and, every player leans on, their respective tools. But, every situation can call for, knowledge or just instincts. CD, he's a very instinctual player. Reed, he leans on a lot of his preparation. But at moments, in the game, CD will lean on his intelligence as well, and Reed will lean on his instincts as well. So, it's just about getting into the flow of the game and just letting things, happen naturally.
Tristin, do you consider yourself a cornerback as well? I mean, it's kind of interchangeable in the NFL these days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you play cornerback at Sam Houston?
I didn't, but I played a little bit of nickel.
Okay.
Nickel cornerback.
Well, that's another part of the Vic Fangio thing that's so interesting. Vic Fangio in the summer, I don't know if you remember this, Merrill, in a press conference, called the nickel cornerback position a linebacker more than a cornerback.
Yeah.
You agree with that?
I do. I think that the nickel is basically just another strong safety. It's a safety that rotates down to the strong side, to the passing formation, but it's really interchangeable with that weak side safety.
Interesting. I always wonder, how physical do you have to be? Are you innately physical, or are you just naturally somebody who likes to be really in the mix? Or is that something that you've had to develop through the years?
I would say all of the above. To get to this level, you gotta, have a little bit of crazy in you.
No question.
To go out there and just, run into a brick wall. But, also starting to go against bigger competition and faster competition. You also gotta have to develop those skills as well, because, offensive guys, they do a really good job of trying to make people miss, and so you gotta kind of, learn how they do it so that you can take it to the practice field and take it to the game.
When you guys were 2-2 and struggling in Tampa Bay, I didn't really read too much into it, because to me, September is now what the preseason used to be, because in the preseason games, the veterans, the starters don't play, and even in training camp, there's very little physical stuff. Very rarely do you actually tackle to the ground. How tough is it to go into the season and suddenly turn on the green light and become a fundamentally sound tackler?
You know, it is a challenge, and, you know, that's what, you know, the preseason is for, is to, you know, have those trials and tribulations with the tackling. You know, that's why oftentimes in the preseason you'll see a lot of misses, you know, more misses than you would like to see in the regular season. And, you know, it's
you
just
see that in September, too.
Yeah, definitely. So, you know, it is a little challenge, but, you know, I would say, like, once you get that first or second miss and you really, you know, learn the flow, you know, it starts to just fall naturally.
All right, we'll be back with Tristin McCollum right after this.
The last thing I remember, I was outside Chicky and Pete's.
Of course, George. Chicky and Pete's is Philadelphia's most decorated and award-winning restaurant.
I give each of the kids a Chicky and Pete's gift card. It's the gift that always fits.
It's almost as good as getting your wing.
Yeah, that's right, Clarence. You can get your wings at Chicky's, and crab fries and lobster pizza and a hot beef sandwich.
You see, George, it really is a wonderful place, this Chicky and Pete's.
Think banking hasn't changed? Think again. At Penn Community Bank, we've been helping communities thrive for 150 years. From our nationally recognized Access Checking that offers the peace of mind of no overdrafts, to student and free checking plus options with perks that will make you wonder what you did without them, like early direct deposit, overdraft grace, and Zelle. Learn more at PennCommunityBank.com/products. Penn Community Bank. Here we grow. Account and feature terms, restrictions, and conditions apply. Ask for full details. Member FDIC.
Your day-to-day life is hectic between having to pick up the kids, make dinner, the countless other tasks that you got to get done. Rob's Automotive and Collision is there to make your life a whole lot easier. Make sure you take advantage of their spacious waiting rooms, the large flat-screen TVs, complimentary coffee and muffins, and free Wi-Fi. So even when you do have to stop, Rob's is there to make you feel right at home. Give Rob's a call today at 215-826-9200 for any of your auto repair needs.
Hi, this is Merrill Reese, and I'm here to announce that the garage is always open. I'm talking about garage beer. Light beer, like it used to be. How refreshing. I believe my good friend Jason Kelsey even described garage beer as beer-flavored beer. There's a guy who knows beer. Find yours at drinkgaragebeer.com. Remember, the garage is always open.
A flawless occasion begins at the Capitol Grill. From the moment you step into the Capitol Grill, located in the heart of Center City, the experience is one of comfortable elegance. Whether you're looking to host a private affair, a perfect lunch stop, or dinner destination, start your occasion at the Capitol Grill today. Visit thecapitolgrill.com or call 215-545-9588. That's 215-545-9588 for the Capitol Grill, Center City.
Ventresca Limited, the Delaware Valley men's store, is located in historic Doylestown. For casual clothing in denim to business suits and tuxedos, Ventresca Limited has a large selection you have to see to believe. The experienced and knowledgeable sales staff can show you the many brand labels that have made Ventresca Limited in Doylestown a must for men concerned about their image. Select from Canali, Brax Jeans, Hickey Freeman, Johnson Murphy Footwear, and much more. Custom alterations are free. Visit Ventresca Limited on the web at ventresca.com. Planning to go to the game? Give LimoToday.com a call. You'll get to the game and back safely and in style. Why worry about the traffic and parking when you can relax and let LimoToday.com do the driving for you and your friends? And if you book a 5-hour trip with LimoToday.com, you'll get the 6-hour free. From sedans to minibuses to vans and stretch limos, let LimoToday.com get you to the game. Give them a call at 1-866-LIMO-TODAY. That's 1-866-LIMO-TODAY.
BCWSA customers, former Phillies pitcher Tommy Green here. I played on the 1993 National League champs, so I know a thing or two about what it's like playing on a winning team. BCWSA has all the ingredients. They make it easy for their customers to get automatic updates by text, email, or phone anytime there is a disruption in your service area. You can even customize your alerts by going to bcwsa.net. That's bcwsa.net. BCWSA, your partner for a safer environment. BCWSA, proven.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for the Pro Football Report presented by BCWSA. Once again, here are your hosts, Eagles insider Dave Spadaro and voice of the Philadelphia Eagles, Merrill Reese.
And back we are at Chickies and Pete's in Drexel Hill, and it's time for this week's Penworth Financial Keys to the Game. The key to your financial future is Penworth Financial. Call them today at 267-997-4503 or visit penworth.com. Well, Dave, I would like to give you the keys to the game, except I don't know who's playing other than it's the Giants and the Eagles.
Right.
The Giants are a team that just broke an 11-game losing streak, and I figure they have nothing to lose, so they might as well play their starters, although they may want to lose because they're ruining their draft pick.
Well, look, I always love these kind of games because it gives young players a chance to play. So one of my keys is that Tristin McCollum, when the ball comes his way, and there's no doubt it's going to come his way, make the pick. Make the pick and take it to the house. That's just a bonus, but make the pick. And then on offense, Merrill, Tanner McKee showed yesterday that, he has a very bright future. He's got a lot of talent. And if he's out there playing the majority of the game, I really want to see the offense come together and have some success. So I think this is a really key, whatever the Eagles do, a key week of practice to get everybody on the same page.
Well, now we're assuming, Tristan, that the regulars are not there or not there for very long. So I'm sure that you have faced some of the other wide receivers other than A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith in practice sessions. One who I'm still waiting to see get targeted more is Jahan Dotson. He was such a great player at Penn State. What do you see when you look at Dotson, Anais Smith, and Johnny Wilson?
Man, three great players, and three have really, really different skill sets too. It's going to be nice to see all of them share the field together with Tanner, as that field general. But Johnny, he's that huge, great run blocker, but great jump ball guy. You got Jahan, who's very, very smart dude, very, very savvy. He knows how to run routes very, very well. And then you got Anais. I think he's a wild card. He's a great punt returner. He has very dynamic make-you-miss ability. So it's going to be nice to see, how those players.
Yeah, I would think that he could be doing the punt returning this week because another great guy and a friend of ours is Britton Covey.
Oh, yeah.
And unfortunately, he's put on injured reserve. And I would think the chances are Cooper DeJean doesn't go out there this week, at least as a punt returner. So we will probably see Anais Smith get that opportunity.
Yeah, and it would be great to see him, because, again, he has very dynamic ability. I've seen him at Texas A&M. He did the exact same thing. He really knows how to make you miss. He has great, side-to-side movement. So I'm excited to see him.
And, the Giants have had a miserable season, but they showed yesterday that they do have a lot of weapons. And certainly their number one draft pick, Malik Neighbors, is
he's tough.
Fine young player. So when you look at the Giants secondary, Tristan, their skill set, their wide receivers, they present some challenges.
Oh yeah, they do. They have a lot of speed, and like you said, the rookie, he's playing really, really good. Neighbors, he really knows how to run routes, and he's a very demanding football player. When he's on the field, he wants to let everyone know that he is. And so, one of the big keys on defense is containing him. And then they got a good running back in Tracy, who's a wide receiver convert.
Yeah,
so,
Tyrone Tracy.
He's having a good season too. So they have weapons, but it's going to be a good test for us.
Yeah, you'll probably be facing Drew Lock again, who has been the quarterback lately. And the funny thing about Drew Lock is if people don't think he can play, just go back to the tape of last year's game when he beat the Eagles in Seattle.
Oh, yeah. He's a very dynamic player. He's a sleeper. You can't sleep on him. He's a smart guy. He can make really good plays on the fade ball especially. So, again, another good test.
He had 5 touchdowns yesterday. Merrill, let's get to the good stuff here because as we finish up the
I have to give you the read. It is time now for this week's Penworth Financial Keys to the Game. The key to your financial future is Penworth Financial. Call them today at 267-997-4503 or visit penworth.com.
You know why I'm so excited here, Merrill?
You're excited because we've been picking games without points or anything like that all season, and I was riding ahead, and Dave just came roaring back. So now I have 52-28, and Dave is 51-29. Yeah. So just one game separates us.
Yes.
All right, these are a little tougher to pick because throughout the league, a lot of teams are stuffed and stacked up to where they're going to be, and there's nothing to play for so you don't know what they're going to do in terms of their starters.
Right.
But just in case, Washington at Dallas.
I'll go, Merrill. I'll go with Washington.
You're going to go with Washington.
Yes.
I am going with Washington, too. Having watched Washington last night and having seen Dallas yesterday, I don't think there's any comparison.
No comparison.
All right, Tristin, who do you pick?
I'd have to agree. Washington, they're on a roll, and, they want to close out the season well to enter the playoffs on a good note, so Commanders it is.
Even if it's Marcus Mariota at quarterback, they will still carve up the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay.
All right, Chicago at Green Bay.
I mean, you've got to go with. I can't imagine Green Bay plays with urgency. So even with that, I still take the Packers. The Bears are really, really a long ways away.
All right, Tristin.
I got to go Green Bay.
Yeah,
for all those same reasons. Chicago, they looked a little depleted this season, so.
Chicago, another one of those teams that would be looking for a new coach this year.
Little buyer's remorse. Maybe
there's going to be about 8 of them coming up. All right, how about tonight? Tonight is Detroit, San Francisco.
Merrill, I'm going to go with San Francisco.
Are
here.
you?
I think that I think the Niners will play hard, and I'm not sure that Detroit's going to play their starters.
Detroit has a guy by the name of Dan Campbell, who is a coach who never knows when to let up.
I am aware of that.
I am staying with Detroit. All right, Tristin, it's up to you.
It's going to be a very tough one, but, I'd have to agree with you.
Okay.
Detroit, I think they're going to take it out.
So what that means is you'll both be wrong. Okay?
A lot of injuries, but, Dan Campbell, he's a great coach. He's going to get those guys fired up.
Okay.
Believe it or not, we have Detroit tonight, and we also have Detroit in the game next Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
And that's Minnesota at Detroit.
Yeah, I'll go with Minnesota in that one, actually.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to win this, Merrill.
Okay. Tristin.
I got to go Minnesota.
Gotta
Detroit,
go Minnesota?
good team, Minnesota. They're playing some really sneaky good football.
I've got
no, you can't change it.
I can't. It's not over yet. I am taking Minnesota.
You playing not to lose.
No, that's playing. In that case, I am. All right, I picked Detroit once anyhow. All right, Seattle at the Rams. Does that game still mean something?
Yeah, I think it does. I'll take the Rams in that one.
You're taking the Rams.
Yeah.
Okay, Tristin.
Man, that's a close one. Very evenly matched. I'm gonna have to go Rams.
Okay, I'm taking Seattle. The Rams were lucky to sneak by the Cardinals on Saturday night.
Right. Glad you didn't change it.
I'm telling you. All right, Cincinnati at Pittsburgh.
I will go with the Steelers in that one.
Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Tristin.
No, I'm gonna go I'm gonna go Cincinnati.
All right.
I'm going to go Cincinnati too. Pittsburgh is another team that is really in trouble. They have lost 3 straight games.
Yes, they have.
So they're fading fast. You realize, as good a coach as Mike Tomlin is, Steelers have not won a playoff game since 2017.
That's pretty amazing.
All right, Houston, your former team
yes.
at Tennessee. Dave.
I will go with Houston.
I will go with Houston.
I will also go with Houston.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull it out.
All right, and Miami at the dysfunctional, hapless Jets.
Oh wow!
I'm gonna keep the Miami train going and vote against the hapless, dysfunctional Jets.
Yeah, sorry, Mr. Rogers. It's gonna be
It's over, Mr. Rogers.
I think so too, especially when players are saying, if he's back, I don't want to play with him next year.
Is that right? They said that?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I've got to dip into another
venture.
Thank you, Tristin. Thank you.
Yes,
Happy New Year,
Okay.
man. See you at Novacare.
We're out of time anyhow.
Are we?
I want to thank our engineer, Chris Ermer, for doing his usual job, and I want to thank you, Tristin McCollum, for being a great guest, a great guy.
Man, thank you
we
for having
thank
me.
you so much for coming, and once again, our executive producer, George Forster, PGA. So for all of us, we thank you so much. And on behalf of the NFC East champions, Philadelphia Eagles, this is Merrill Reese saying good night, all.
You're listening to 1490 WBCB and on your FM dial at 107.3 W297CL Levittown.
There's no place like home. Your station in Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer Counties, 1490 WBCB.